Hello there and welcome to the show on what is a rather cold November day. Oh, is it unbelievable that last week we were in the garden? Okay, it was a bit chilly. Last week we were in the garden, weren't we? In the full sunshine, and today outside it is vile. I'm looking out the window and it is misty. It is drizzly and it is cold, and we don't like the cold, boys and girls. I'm cold, I really am. But fortunately, I have made a purchase, boys and girls. Oh yes, I have purchased a king-sized heated duvet cover. Oh, you've got to get one. You've got to get one. Very, very similar to an electric blanket, except this thing is it's fleece on the top. Looks a bit like a sheep. You know, the wool on a sheep looks a bit like that. So it's fleece on the top, and round it is like a skirt, and it kind of snaps onto the mattress, very similar like a fitted sheet. Oh, and I've got dual controls for each side of the bed, in the hope that one day I will find someone to share my bed with. Although at the moment, it's all very sad. I must admit, I do put both sides on. And it takes 10 minutes. So all it takes, 10 minutes to heat your bed up. It really does. So you switch them. It's got these two switches either side, and they go from 1 to 9. So you put them on number 9, about 10 minutes or so before you get into bed. Plug it in, and then you get into bed, and it is talk about luxury, dear. It is wonderful. It really is wonderful. Not only that, but you can leave it on a lower setting all night long, kind of between 1 and 4. And I turn one side off when I get into the bed. And when I get into bed, I completely spread out like a starfish. I spread out in the bed like that, starfish in the bed, and it's lovely and warm and cosy, and fantastic. I don't think I've ever had an electric blanket before. I had a thing last year, didn't I? I had a 12-volt one with a battery, but I found, because I've got a car battery downstairs, which is charged by a single solar panel on the tree, but I found it drained the battery too much, so I couldn't really use it. But this one you plug into the mains. It only uses 60 watts of electricity. And I suppose that's when it's full on sort of thing. So presumably throughout the night it will use less. And you put it on. It's just wonderful when you get into bed. You've got to get one of those. You absolutely had to get one of those. They all have different types, so do be careful. They do an over blanket, they do an under blanket, they do a mattress cover, which is what I've got. But not all of them you can leave on at night. So if you're going to buy one, do remember to check that it is one of those that you can leave on all night, and then you'll be nice and cosy and warm. Of course, I rang my sister Sharon, who's up north, and it's always colder up there than it is where I am down here in the south in Bracknell in Berkshire. And the next day she rang me up. She says, "Oh, bruv, I've bought one as well." And I'm like, "What have you bought?" She says, "An electric blanket, exactly the same as yours." She said, got mine on eBay, £37. So, which is a lot cheaper than what I paid in Argos. It was the most expensive one in there, but it was £74. So about $140 for this thing. But worth every single penny. The luxury of that. And the other thing is, of course, you know, it's got to be cheaper to have an electric blanket on than it is to heat the whole house, isn't it? When you think about it. Can you believe this? My heating has still not gone on yet. I had it on for 1 hour back in October on a very, very cold night, but it still hasn't gone on yet. I'm so pleased. I just don't think it's going to be necessary to turn it on at all this year. I really don't. It's not cold enough to put your heating on. Not yet, boys and girls. Come on. Oh, the people that put the heating on as soon as September comes and they leave it on all weekend. And the trouble is, they're always cold unless they're at home, because the heating's on all the time. I rarely get cold, although I have to say, and I've mentioned this many times before, when I get people to come round here, when people come round and visit, which is very rare, boys and girls, I mean, we're going to have I think we're going to have an open day here in the Britannia studios or something like that. Oh, incidentally, Millie in Minnesota spoke to me the other day on the Skype thing, and she said, you've got to change your end film, because it does say from the Mirable studio. The reason that hasn't changed yet, Millie, is because that is a bit of an effort to do that. You know, I have to go out and do little bits and pieces and then put the words on and all that. It does take a while to do that. But yes, Millie, you're quite right. It is incorrect at the moment, so that will be changed. Talking of incorrectness, I'm surprised no one noticed this, but on one of the shows last week, on the show that was Tuesday the 10th of November, on the video side of things, when people watched it, it actually said Thursday the 10th of November. No one noticed that. You're not watching carefully, are you? You must watch more. There's a picture of Millie behind me at the moment, me and Millie in Belushes. You must, if those of you that watch the show on YouTube, you must watch more carefully. How do you know? You know, there might be a competition. There might be a competition, and you'll miss something. Although I must say, if I do run a competition, I will be giving out better prizes than Ross Patzelt does on his show. Ross Patzelt, another podcaster. He's at rosspatzelt.co.uk, right? And his prize for his competitions appears to be a weekend for one in a caravan at Hemsby. I mean, what sort of prize is that, Ross? And has anyone actually won it yet? I don't think there's a prize at all, is there? You're just saying it. Are you? Are you just saying this to attract people to your show? Is that what it is? Now, I have a bit of news with Ross as well. Ross does his show live and then puts it up as a podcast on Ustream. Okay? Ustream is like it's like this site, and you can do your show live either in audio or audio and video. And I've been talking with him, and we're trying to get together so we do maybe a night of programmes with myself, him, probably a guy from Germany called Yannick, who you've often heard write into this show, and possibly Tom from TomHarrisUSA.com. And we're trying to get together at the moment and do a night of live programmes as a one-off. And if that works, we'll try and do that every week. We're talking about it at the moment and trying to sort of get something together again. The thing is, with doing a live show, I'll be able to take phone calls, or you'll be able to Skype in like I used to do on Play Talk, which is now no longer, unfortunately. And there's something very special about being able to do a show live. It is much more fun. I mean, this is fun. I wouldn't be sitting here for nothing talking to you if I didn't enjoy this, you know. But to be able to do it live and have people call in is just fantastic. So I think we're going to do that. All right, so I'll keep you posted on that one, on the Ustream thing. Now, I'm just reaching into my pocket because I can feel a sneeze in my nose. And it's going to come out. Oh dear me! It's quite actually cold here in the Britannia studio today. I've got to tell you. In fact, I know what I can do. How about if I do a show from my bed with my new electric blanket on? How fantastic would that be? I'd be able to sit there all cosy, and you'll be able to sit there in your cold homes watching me with the snow falling outside, all jealous. Do you like that idea? A show from my bed. Oh, we're going to have to sort that out. I'll have to sort out some lights for in there as well. Anyway, so that's the new electric blanket. Very, very pleased with that. As I say, if you're going to look for one, try and get one that you can leave on all night. Check the instructions or the box before you actually buy it, because it is an item that they won't let you return, obviously, because it's like a personal thing underneath you where you're asleep and all that. So make sure you get the right one. I've often wondered with electric blankets, you know, presumably you've got to be careful with having cups of tea and that in bed. What if you wet the bed? What if... I'm sure there's one or two of you who do that occasionally, isn't there? Eh? Huh? What if you wet the bed and the blanket is on? Do you get electrocuted? Answers via email, please. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right. Any technical people, can you tell me that? If you've got an electric blanket on and you wet the bed, what happens? Do you die from electrocution? Let me know. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And talking of email addresses, thank you very much to Brenda, who pointed out that the email wasn't working last week. Now, this has happened before, and I'm not exactly sure what happens, but I have to then email the company who I have unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk with, and they then have to, I don't know what they do, to forward it to my home email address. So thank you very much for that, Brenda, but it is now working again. Do you mind if I blow my nose? I'm sorry. Oh, but I did just sneeze then. So that is working now, okay? Once again, joining in by email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, I'm quite excited. Tonight, I'm going to the cinema with my best friend Ron to see the film Scrooge. And it gets even better than this because he's paying for me to go and see it. How wonderful is that? Not a penny will be coming out of my pocket, which makes a change because usually when I go out somewhere for a meal or something, poor old Chris ends up with a bill, as mentioned on a previous show. I don't know why that is. Why is that? Whenever I go out, I end up with a bill. So I'll let you know how that goes. I've heard mixed reviews about that film, Scrooge. Is that the title? It's the one in 3D. I'm not quite... Is it A Christmas Carol, isn't it? I think it's A Christmas Carol. I do believe it's a Disney film, and it's in 3D. So I'll let you know on the next show, hopefully, how that went or what the film's like. But I have heard mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people don't. So that's that. Look forward tonight to Scrooge. How are we doing? Oh, I've tried yet another cavery. This is another cavery run by the Toby Group at Langley, which is very near Slough. It's not too far away from me. It's about a 20-minute drive from here. Once again, a wonderful meal at a very good price. I had a full roast dinner, 3 bits of meat, a piece of ham, not too much meat, mind, piece of ham, piece of turkey, and a piece of beef, and as many vegetables as you wanted on this huge plate. I had an ice cream with 2 chocolate things in it. I had a cup of tea, £8.50. You can't go wrong, can you? £8.50. So, brilliant there. Another excellent cavery. And as I say, if you want to try that one and you're down here in the south of the UK, that one is the Toby Cavery at Langley. Very good service in there. Not too much pestering. You know what I mean by pestering? Every 5 minutes they're up to you. Oh, is everything okay? No, they come up once and that's it. That's all you need. So another very good deal there. And talking of service, you may remember I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago about the terrible service at Costa Coffee in Thorpe Park. Now, there are a couple of different Costa Coffees in Thorpe Park. This would be the one where you come through the main entrance and it's kind of, you come into this area where there's a shop and things, and there it is. Remember I told you about that awful woman who gave me attitude while I asked for my tea to be redone because it was too milky? Well, I did take it one step further, and I have written to the company, to Whitbread, who actually seem to own Costa Coffee, and I've got a reply. First of all, I'm going to read you the email that I sent to them. Dear Sir, visited your branch in the main entrance area at Thorpe Park on Tuesday the 27th of October at about 11:15 a.m. The tea arrived far too milky for me. I asked the lady, brackets, big foreign woman, about 25 to 30, with a face like a half-sucked orange, close brackets, to make me another one. I asked very nicely, and I do. If I've got something to say to someone in a shop or whatever, right? I do not feel that I am better than that person, because I've seen that before and it's not nice. You know, when you've got some youngster working in a shop and a customer and they talk down to them. I would never do that. I talk to people nicely in shops. So, all right, just so you know that. I asked very nicely. She didn't say a word to me, grabbed the drink back, took a quick look, slammed it down on the counter and proceeded to make another. She did not talk to me at all and gave me a filthy look. I asked for nothing out of this complaint, but would like you to know what was going on. I thanked her nevertheless, but again, no response, just a filthy look. Do we need to put up with this at your outlets? Very disappointed with the service. It's not as if it was late in the afternoon and she was tired. Photo of our visit enclosed. Thank you for your time, Chris Reardon. And indeed, I attached a little photograph of myself, my two nephews and the older one's girlfriend with her, sitting there at their table. And I've got this response from them so far. No dear sir or anything like that. We have passed this on to the corporate partner to investigate, who will be in contact shortly. Kind regards, Natalie O'Hara, Whitbread Guest Relations Team. So there we are. We have a response, so fair dues. I shall keep you fully informed of how that goes. But, you know, I suppose making coffee and tea for people all day long is not the best job in the world, is it? Be honest. It's probably not. But if you don't like it, go and do something else. There are jobs out there. I know we're in a recession and all that, but if you're doing a job that you don't like, why do people continue to do it? You've got to be nice to customers. We're paying the wages. I always try and be nice to people who turn up at one of my clubs to sing at, one of the clubs I work at rather, to sing at karaoke or to dance to my music. You just don't need the attitude, do you? I'll let you know how that goes, all right? Quick one here from Gwen Galindo. You don't tell me where you are or anything like that, but all it says was, hello from Gwen Galindo. So, hello to you as well. I wish you told me where you were. Eh? You must tell me where you are, my darling. Okay. Hello to Niall in Switzerland. 2 from Niall today. Dear Chris and Suko. Oh, hang on a minute. Have I read this one? No, I think I've read that one, actually, about the gnomes. 1 minute. Yeah, I've read that one. So we're on to this one. There we are. From Niall in Switzerland, who says, I'm a bit confused by your ideas on chocolate. Surely there is a preference per person, but the basic idea is to enjoy it and get as much as possible for the least cost. Now, I don't agree with that, Niall. If you like something and it is of high quality, then I do believe you have to pay for that. Now, you know me very well, dear. I'm not a man that likes to waste money. I'm not a man that likes to be ripped off. However, if it's a quality product, then I will pay for it. For example, my impending visit to Australia, I'm flying business class with British Airways. I saved long and hard for this, boys and girls. However, the quality of the product is very, very high, and I don't mind paying for it. I take my car to Toyota for servicing. Why do I take it there? They are probably the dearest place. Not that I don't think they're overpriced. The service is very good. I am treated with great respect by Toyota whenever I go there. You know, a lady meets you. Would you like a cup of tea? You go to the counter. OK, Mr. Reardon, sit down there. We'll call you when it's ready. And all this business. Wonderful service. And I don't ever have to go back there. I don't have a fault that reoccurs. All right, so I don't mind paying for service. And with chocolate as well, if you want the quality chocolate, and then sometimes you will pay for it. It depends what you want. Now, my personal preference is Cadbury's and Galaxy. Now, they are nowhere near the dearest chocolate. but it's lovely. So sometimes you can get away with paying less for something that you really like, if you like it. And my preference, Niall, is indeed Cadbury's or Galaxy. I have tried Swiss chocolate. I've tried American. I haven't really tried Hershey's. I don't remember trying Hershey's. I certainly don't like the Swiss chocolate. It's horrible stuff. Don't enjoy it at all. Niall says, when in the UK this summer, the family took a trip to Cadbury World in Bourneville, Birmingham, and while a pleasant and fun day, it was a very expensive day to go for with a family. Oh, how much did you pay? I don't know how much it is to go there. Actually, so do let me know how much you paid for that, Niall. Alternatively, there is a factory quite close to where we live in Switzerland. This is free and has, wait for it, and Millie in Minnesota will like the sound of this, as much as you can eat. Free tasting. Now you're talking. There must be there are a lot of sick people outside there once they stuff their faces with chocolate. Eh? That makes wonderful stuff, and we go fairly regularly for a pick-me-up. Or they get to know your faces. They'll stop you doing that, surely. You can't just keep walking into the factory, surely, and eating all their chocolate, can you? Each to their own. I'm allergic to most chocolate, unfortunately, apart from Cadbury's, which gets imported for me, and the local dark chocolate from Kayla's. What luck. Oh, you are lucky. Thank you, Niall. What other chocolate do people like who are listening or watching the show, I wonder? As well as Cadbury's and Galaxy, I quite like Maltesers. Oh, I could eat boxes of that, aren't they? Gorgeous Maltesers. I like Mars bars. I like Crunchies. Chocolate buttons, mind you, they're Cadbury's as well. Yeah, I do. And Smarties, quite like. You can have too many Smarties though, because the chocolate's very different in that, isn't it? Do you like Smarties? We used to have Smarties, and they came in a tube with a little plastic lid on top, which had a letter on, and they seem to have done away with that. I used to collect the letters. Does anyone remember doing that? Huh? What's your favourite chocolate? Let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll tell you what, dare I ask this? I hope you don't mind me asking this, but is there anyone out there that would send me a bar of Hershey's Dairy Milk Chocolate to try? Could anyone, do you mind doing that? Is there anyone out there that would do that? I'll tell you where to send it to in a minute, if I can remember the address now. I haven't read it out for so long. Yeah, I remember now. I remember. Let me just write that up. I'll give you the postal address in a minute. And anyone who could possibly send me a little bar of Hershey's Dairy Milk Chocolates, please send it through, and then I can taste it and test it on the show with you. All right? Address coming up after this email from Brenda on the subject of Gwen, who is doing quite well, actually. She's slowly recovering, I think. She had a problem where she seems to have had all the side effects that they told her she would have, one of which, unfortunately, was having to keep running to the toilet. She said that seems to be easing off, so that must be good news, mustn't it? And Brenda writes, Chris, this is Brenda from Lancaster. I just listened to the show where Gwen called in. What an amazing woman. I admire her positive outlook towards her illness. I'm a firm believer in positive thinking as well. Yeah, me too. I wish her all the best with her ordeal. I will be praying for her, and I must say, shame on the doctors for being so callous in the delivery of her diagnosis. Yeah, if you remember, she was called into a room with a doctor who sat her down and says, well, it's not good news, I'm afraid you've got cancer. And basically handed her some leaflets. Not good, is it, really? Come on. Where's the compassion in that? Brenda goes on to say, leaflets, are you serious? As they say around here, oy vey. Oy vey. Oh, I don't know what that means, oy vey. She says, not exactly sure what that means. since I am not Pennsylvanian Dutch, but it's usually said with the person rolling their eyes. Oh, I'm quite good at that, rolling my eyes, like that. And you've got to do a tut as well, haven't you? Eh? Brenda goes on to say, as for my taste in music, I must admit that I'm a child of the 80s, and as such, was a bit of a headbanger. Oh, you would like all that blooming purple, deep purple music and Def Leppard, do you? With the head shaking? Oh, do it too much and your head will come off, I'm telling you now. I have mellowed out a bit now that I'm older, but just because I drive a minivan doesn't mean I can't have a wild inner child. I refuse to grow up. Oh, me too. Oh, you don't want to grow up, it's boring. Have you seen the amount of people around you that are your age that are as boring as sin, dear? No, 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 don't ever grow up. I never did. I refuse to grow up. In response to your question about how to learn the words to songs, yeah, I've always found that very difficult, learning songs. You know when you see like these singers and people on the telly and they sing loads of songs, and I just think to myself, how on earth do they learn all those words? It's something that I find very difficult. Brenda says, I'm not a singer, but I love music. The way I learn the words to the songs I listen to is to listen to the song while reading the lyrics on a website such as lyrics.com, which I didn't know this existed, so I'll have to have a look at that. I'm a visual learner, so this works for me. Keep up the good shows. I enjoy them immensely, and that's from Brenda in Lancaster. So thank you for that one, Brenda. Always lovely to hear from you. You write some wonderful emails. I have actually got another email here from Brenda, which I'm going to save for the next show. All right, my darlings, because we're slowly running out of time there. And once again, I do hope to be doing at least one extra show a week live via Ustream. Okay? Now, I would love to do the show live also on all the radio stations that are kind enough to play out this programme, but I just don't think that's possible because I will have to do it at a set time, and then the stations play out the show at different times, being a recording as it is at the moment. So I don't actually see how it's going to be possible for the other stations to kind of join us all at the same time so we can all talk merrily together. So it will just be on the Ustream network, but you will be able to call in, and I'll tell you more about that as I talk to Ross and the other guys and how it's all coming along. All right. Now, the postal address, if you want to send in letters, postcards, where you're on holiday, anything at all, or if you're in the States, a bar, or maybe wherever you are in the world, okay, could you send me a bar of milk chocolate which is specific to your country? So in America, it would be Hershey's. Don't do it in the UK because I can already get them here, Cadbury's, Galaxy. I don't know. Have you got something in Switzerland, Niall? Or wherever you are in the world, just a small bar of chocolate from where you are. And if you could send it to this address, please. Are you ready? Chris Reardon. That's Reardon. United Kingdom Talk. P.O. Box 4073. Bracknell, Bracknell, RG 429ED, United Kingdom. Once again, it's Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG 429ED, United Kingdom. Oh, same place for Christmas cards. Who's going to send the first Christmas card in? Come on, get your pens to paper and your stamps on the envelopes. Time for me to go. As always, thanks for listening and watching the show. I'll see you on the next one. For myself, Chris Reardon. Oh, the email address once again, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next one. Bye-bye now.